Guys, I've been saying it for months, and then the more I play this game, the more I'm convinced that Mortal Kombat 1 isn't the new era we were promised. It's a reskinned, repurposed beta for Injustice 3. From the mechanics to the weirdly superhero vibe of the story, the DNA of a DC game is all over this thing. Today we're looking at the evidence, the leaked voice actor slips, and why NetherRealm might have swapped games mid-development just to save their skins. Now if you guys don't know me by now, I'm Mr. Frosty Flames, but you can call me Mike. I do everything gaming news, reviews, playthroughs, gameplay, everything FGC related and anything gaming related, period. And if you like these commentary style videos, these analysis sort of style videos, make sure you share, like, comment, and drop a sub to join the Mr. Frosty Flames Legion. Now back to the video. Now, this could be a myth or whatever you want to call it, but look at the most obvious sign, the intros. In Mortal Kombat 11 and X and 9, we had unique cinematic walk-ups, but in Mortal Kombat 1, what do we get? A face-to-face clash where the characters talk, push off each other, and then the fight starts. Does that sound familiar? It should, because that's the exact mechanic from Injustice 2. In the DC game, a clash is a core gameplay feature for sort of like breaking combos. In MK1, it's like a glorified loading screen. It feels like they had a clash system built for Batman and Superman, but when they had to pivot to Mortal Kombat, they just turned it into a static intro because they didn't have time to animate the real walk-ups. It's lazy, and it's the first big red flag. Like, I remember when I seen that in the first trailer for the game, like when they showed gameplay trailers, they showed like some sort of like clash mechanic, and I thought it was like, yo, are they bringing the clash back from Injustice 2? But no, this was just like the intros, and I was like, bro, how do we go from MK11 to this? Because MK11, we could customize our intros, and even outros too. We had the unique walk-ups. I think we had like 4 or 5 of them for each character, and I mean, that's crazy. But then we just go backwards. They have the same default animation, and they just go into a clash, and then they say words, and that's basically what they do in the intro, and it's the same thing what they do in Injustice. I mean, is it really like that far-fetched to say that? In my opinion, no. Now hear me out on this theory. Then there are the cameos. Now look, I don't hate the cameo system, but let's be real. Since when is Mortal Kombat a tag team assist franchise? I mean, it would never was, other than like MK9, where you could call in your buddy and, fight alongside of him. But that was still different because you still were actively playing, whoever you called in, you were still actively controlling them. It wasn't like Marvel vs. Capcom. It was like a one-on-one brutal martial arts franchise. But you know where assists make total sense? A superhero game. Like, imagine calling in a sidekick like Robin or Batgirl. So you're playing as Batman and you could call in a Robin or Batgirl to help you out. It's just the way the cameos jump in and jump out. It feels like it was ripped straight from a scrapped Injustice 3 build that wanted to compete with Marvel vs. Capcom. They couldn't finish the DC roster, so they threw in some classic MK characters as assists and called it a new feature. It's a hodgepodge of ideas that just don't fit the MK vibe, and I know the cameos are just opinion based. Some people love them, they're combo extension, of course, but some people hate them. Me, I'm indifferent to them, but it just fits more in a Injustice game than an MK game. I want to go back to my MK roots. Give me MKX back. I love that gameplay. And on top of that, some of the new characters just seem very DC like. Like, look at Shao Kahn. Like, bro has horns. Tell me that isn't Steppenwolf, right? He has the axe too, bro. That is literally Steppenwolf. Look at Ashra. Like, look at her fatality. She has like that Wonder Woman lasso thing that she could wrap. Like, her sword turns into like some sort of rope that looks like the lasso of truth that she wraps around her enemies and slices off their arms or something. Man, that's crazy, man. That's basically DC. And oh lord, don't get me started on the story. I already told you guys in a previous video why I thought the MK1 story was bad, but just think about why it felt so weird. It's the multiverse, the Titan versions of the characters. I mean, this is just pure comic book logic. It felt like they were writing a Crisis on Infinite Earths script for Justice League and just swapped the names for Liu Kang and Raiden at the last second. I mean, look at that. I always joke around about how sort of towards the middle of the game, you remember how you had that like Team Earthrealm and Outworld where you had like Baraka, Ashra, Reptile, Kung Lao, Johnny Cage, Kenshi, how they were all like working together and they kind of were walking together. I mean, it was basically the Mortal Kombat Avengers, and that's what I called them. I was like, man, this is written straight out of a comic book, man. This is like Mortal Kombat Avengers, and Avengers, obviously that's not DC, but what's a counterpart for the Avengers? The Justice League. I mean, it's not too far-fetched in my eyes. I mean, I know I could be reaching, but you know, there's a little strange things going on. I feel like Mortal Kombat is at its best when it's about a tournament and ancient magic, not interdimensional variants wearing this neon armor. I mean, it's crazy. And if you think I'm reaching, just look at the leaks. We've had George Newborn, the voice actor of Superman. We've had Phil Lamar, the voice actor of Green Lantern. They basically confirmed they've been in a booth for a new NRS project for years. So if Injustice 3 wasn't the original plan for 2023 and they replaced it with MK1, that totally explains why MK1 felt so rushed at launch. It explains the lack of a crypt, the bare bones invasions mode, and the weird gear light system. They basically had to rebuild a Mortal Kombat game on an Injustice skeleton in record time because Warner Bros. Needed a hit to cover their losses. And to go into detail, you could even look at specific modes like the Invasions mode. I mean, it is a multiverse mode, but it screams comic book logic. Like, imagine another universe invading your universe and it just constantly happens season after season after season after season. Now, what is known for doing that? You tell me. It's comic books. They have like infinite universes, infinite timelines, infinite storylines that they could go off of because they are comic books. It makes sense because you have all these different authors and all these different, you know, stories happening in DC and in Marvel, that it makes sense to just make the multiverse theory so all of them could be sort of canon at the same time. But putting it into MK is a bit strange because take a look at, you know, past MK stuff. You know, they always follow just one constant timeline. And sure, there could be the multiverse theory, and Mortal Kombat 11 kind of experimented with it, showing how there was like basically infinite amount of, you know, universes with each of the characters winning the hourglass and becoming titans. Yeah, but you know, it's strange that they went straight ahead into this multiverse thing because they were supposed to explore Liu Kang's new timeline. It was supposed to build characters. I mean, they had it in the first half so well, but they just messed up bringing it all in, and now nothing really matters because it's a multiverse story in a game where we're supposed to care about the characters, or at least, you know, they want you to. Now, this is either because they were going off of like an Injustice base, or they were just trying to follow trends that the MCU or DC wanted to do. But regardless, it's just not good for MK, and they need to find a way to not retcon it because I feel like the damage has been done, and I don't know if they're gonna reboot it for Mortal Kombat 13 or, you know, what they're gonna do, but it just seems like they're just hard pivoting towards this multiverse storyline, and it's just not good for MK. So at the end of the day, MK1 is a fighting game. I don't know if it's good or not. You know, my opinion, no. Everyone is entitled to their own opinions, so you could say whatever you want about it. Good, bad, ugly. Never gonna play it, whatever you say. But one thing is for sure, I think it's a confused Mortal Kombat game. It's the game that was sacrificed so that Injustice 3 could eventually live. But hey, maybe I'm just the hater, or maybe the evidence is there right in front of us. But what do you guys think? Does MK1 feel like a Mortal Kombat game to you, or does it seem like an Injustice 3 in disguise or something like that? But that's just my take on it. It's a little theory that people have been throwing around. I thought I'd just cover it in this channel, and it was very promising, you know, especially how following trends, Injustice 3 was supposed to be the next fighting game from NRS, not MK1. That's why I was shocked when I first seen that MK1 reveal trailer. I was, man, you know, I was excited because I love MK, but sad because I also love Injustice, and Injustice 2 was such a banger for me. Anyways, if you like this video, if you like this analysis, just hit that subscribe button, join the Legion, and we'll see you on the next one. Thank you for watching. Mr. Frosty Flames out.